For the answers thou seek and thou need forthwith.
Get up off your ass and bang your head to the opening riff! What's happening, y'all? It's your boy J-Dub here, and welcome to episode 34 of The Real Rush, right here on YouTube. You know, in between last week's episode 33, and, filming last week's episode, and the filming of this week's episode, it's quite a hazy blur, because as I did state last episode, your boy's on his birthday vacay, and I still got just like a day and a half left of that, as the filming of this episode goes on, but, yeah, I've been enjoying the shit out of that. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Yeah, get your celebrating on. Remember those who have served, and be joyous, be safe, and have fun. Who caught All Elite Wrestling's official debut pay-per-view last night, Double or Nothing, the joint that I was wearing the shirt for a couple weeks ago, and been wearing AEW shirts off and on the last couple weeks, trying to promote that shit. Ooh, man, nah. I'm not gonna spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, because I'm not that type of dude, but man, if you're a pro wrestling fan and you did not watch Double or Nothing last night, you ain't no goddamn pro wrestling fan, because this is exactly what everybody had been calling for years. Some good rivalry, some good, business competition and whatnot. And something fresh for the wrestling market. This is exactly what we need. So Double or Nothing. If there are any replays playing, or on the, I don't know if they got anything like that you can on demand it or anything, it's the digital age. You can do anything, but Double or Nothing, catch that shit. It was awesome. So, aside from Double or Nothing, which is pretty much the only thing that I can actually recollect from this past week, aside from the 5 movies that I got to review for y'all this episode. That's right. So, this week's ticket, like I said, 5 movies. I know, last week I said 6 movies. All is true. All is still not true. But hey, your boy was on vacay a little bit. It wasn't quite working up with the scheduling. Your boy went to take it a little easy. So your boy's gonna try a little bit harder to work that in before episode 35 next week. So once again, if you were looking for the review for All Is True, I apologize, I do not have that for you just yet. But please stay tuned, and I will make sure that I have that for y'all. That I will try to have that for y'all as soon as possible. Okay? Okay. So, as we mentioned last week, we've been hitting some milestones and whatnot. I'm not sure if this is necessarily a milestone or whatnot, but as of the last movie that I saw this week, which was Booksmart, I've seen 77 movies already this season for The Real Rush. So season 3, the total so far, 77. To put that in perspective, season 2's 77th movie was American Animals. That took place in the second weekend of June. Even more in perspective, first season's 77th movie was Logan Lucky, and that took place mid-August. Like the 3rd week of August, man. We're killing it. So let's keep killing it, and we're going to keep killing it. Keep killing it. Alright. So, let's get on down to brass tacks. This week's Real Rush ticket. Let's kick things off with a movie that a lot of people are wondering about. I'm talking about the remake of Aladdin. Exactly where I've been getting my rhymes from for the preview and intro of this episode. Like I said, Aladdin is the latest live-action remake of a classic Disney animated movie. In this joint, we have Mena Massoud in the title role. Hopefully, sir, I pronounced your name correctly. And of course, if you don't know the story of Aladdin, this is a little breakdown for you. So we have Mena Massoud in the title role of Aladdin, and he is seeking to win the heart of the lovely Princess Jasmine, played by the lovely, beautiful Naomi Scott, with the help of the Magic Genie, played by Will Smith in this version. This Aladdin is directed by Guy Ritchie. Going into this, I'm not sure what to think of it, because as we know Guy Ritchie from Lock, Stock, and Snatch, and the Sherlock Holmes movies, but we also know him for King Arthur a couple years ago, which didn't fare too well. But, so because of that, I was a little bit worried going into this movie. But, with Aladdin, you can definitely tell that there are some Ritchie-style elements in this. And the good news here is that he didn't overdose on his own style like he did with King Arthur. So, that's a huge step up already. Overall, Aladdin, I love this movie, y'all. This might possibly be my favorite of all the live-action Disney remakes that I've seen as part of the Real Rush. So I'm only going as far back as January 2017. Yeah, that includes like Beauty and the Beast and Dumbo and I think I might be forgetting like one or two in there. Forgive me, I've seen 456 movies in the last 2.5 years. But the reason that it is one of possibly my favorite of the latest Disney live-action remakes is that it didn't feel flat, or it didn't have as many dark undertones in this movie as with the last couple of remakes have had. It was very joyous. It was very happy, and it kept up with the upbeat tempo for most of the movie. So I definitely love that part. Masoud, Scott, and our boy Fresh Prince all kill it in their respective characters. I was blown away by Naomi Scott's beauty in this movie. So anytime she was on screen, I can't really say I have no recollection of what the hell was going on, but I couldn't focus for shit. So this might warrant a second viewing just for that part, and then we'll just kind of have to turn our heads and, you know, listen when Naomi's ever on screen, because girl, you fine, shit. And then you got Will Smith. He's straight up back in his old school form as the genie. Like this is Fresh Prince Will Smith that we know here. Old school Will Smith. Yes. So that's a big plus. He makes the role his own without taking anything, without copying and or tarnishing the legacy of the character that was created by the awesome Robin Williams. Rest in peace, good sir. The musical numbers, all well placed, not overbearing. A lot of people are saying, as they have with pretty much every single live-action Disney remake that there has been over the last couple years, that this one doesn't add anything new to the story or the franchise or whatever. Okay, so two things on this. One, the original Aladdin was 90 minutes long. This one is 2 hours and 8 minutes. So unless there's just 38 minutes of bullshit in there somewhere, I would like to think they've added something since the original, or embellished upon some things, which leads me to my second point. Stop comparing shit to the original. That's the only way that we're ever going to get through this remake phase. Because up until a couple years ago, it was like, oh great, another remake, another remake, another remake. We don't want any other remakes. Well, it looks like that's what we're going to end up getting for quite a majority of whatever's coming out over the next couple years. So the best thing that you could possibly do to get through any of these is to not compare them to the original. You'll never make it through any. Who knows? Either you'll never make it through it because you'll be comparing it too much to the original, or you'll never know that maybe you'll find something that was better than the original. Can't think of one off the top of my head, but there are a couple of remakes out there that are better than the original. So overall, Aladdin, highly enjoyable. Take the family, go see it. I saw it in IMAX up at the Airbus. I suggest you do the same, or in the highest quality possible. Little side story about that. So when we were seating for Aladdin, there was only like 6 of us, maybe 7 of us in the entire theater. If anybody's been to the Airbus, it's quite big. Largest IMAX screen in all of Virginia. 5 stories high. So the lady, when she was sitting us, I had never seen her there before, so I'm guessing she's somewhat new. And she saw me go to my usual spot right in the middle that I like. That's kind of close to the screen, but not too close. It looks like it's really close to the screen, but it's really not. She's like, "Sir, no, don't. You gotta move back. You're sitting too close." In my mind, I'm thinking, this lady's a rookie. She has no idea. She has no idea. But I just kind of, I'm being, cordial. Let's just wait around. Like, no, this is where I like to sit. This is my favorite spot in the whole theater. But then again, I did think, because she did kind of turn away, like, as if I was to say, okay, whatever there, guy. It would be kind of funny if all of a sudden, like, when Aladdin came on, if all of a sudden it was like super IMAX, it's like, Aladdin, and oh shit! And come out 2 hours and 8 minutes later, like, holy shit, the new old lady was right. So, yeah, just something that crossed my mind there. So, anyway, Aladdin, go see that shit. Rodney, I just want to know how we're doing on time so far. Not too bad. Alright. Next up on the Real Rush ticket for this episode, new superhero horror film, Brightburn. Ooh, from the minds of the Gunns. Mark, Brian and James Gunn. Now in Brightburn, we have Elizabeth Banks and David Denman, who star as a Kansas couple who discover a baby from another world, another planet, who knows, in the forest and raise it as one of their own. Now, this baby comes with some powers. Now, right off the bat, right there, as if you've seen the trailer, or even if you haven't seen the trailer, if you just should have heard about this movie, you're thinking, he's like an evil Superman, right? Right? Pretty close. And pretty much. Much like Superman, but opposite. Because this kid is evil as fuck. And he starts using his powers to terrorize. It's what comes of this. Yes. I must say that this is one of the better evil kid horror movies that we've had in recent times. There have been a good bit of them. It is a tad predictable at points, but is still very entertaining. It's very entertaining on the fact that, like I just said a couple moments ago, it is definitely on some Gunn family shit. You got Mark and Brian Gunn, who wrote the screenplay for it, and we got our boy James Gunn producing it. You could tell if you've seen a lot of like Gunn movies like Slither or the Belko Experiment, anything that's got one of the guns attached to it. There's a certain style to those movies. Even the Guardians movies, there's a certain style to it. There's this, like Guy Ritchie has a certain elements. Like the Guns have their certain element, and this movie has those Gunn elements. It even down to a Gunn regular cameo in this movie. Not gonna say who, not gonna say where, but I am gonna say this: it's a damn good movie, damn good horror flick. Lived up to my expectations. I think it will 2 years as well. Go see it and stay for the ending credits, y'all, and enjoy Brightburn. And let me know about this one, because I think that this one might be the most polarizing of this week's new releases. So we'll find out. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, moving right along, we're going to go to the new comedy and the directorial debut of Olivia Wilde, Booksmart. In Booksmart, this follows two seniors, Amy and Molly. I love me a girl with the name Molly. Let me get back to my train of thought. So, Amy and Molly. This follows them on their last day of high school as they realize that they have spent their entire high school career completely in the books and not really, having any fun or, breaking any rules like some of their peers or whatnot. So they set out to have that fun and a night of debauchery with said peers. And right from the bat right there, this sounds much like Superbad, doesn't it? But it ain't Superbad. It's got some Superbadish qualities and, once again, elements and similarities to it, but it ain't Superbad. Booksmart does an outstanding job of being its own movie, of being a standout movie. Outstanding of being a standout. Booksmart is my movie of the week. Pick for movie of the weekend. New release of the weekend. It's so funny, and I'm so glad that I had the theater all to myself on Friday night just so I could laugh my ass off as loud as I wanted to. It's even heartwarming at times. It's a very accurate depiction of high school social life with the characters in it and whatnot. And I know that this is set in 2019. I'm very well aware that I stepped foot out of high school 19 years ago. But the thing I like, one of the major things that I also like about this movie is that it doesn't seem to just stick with like a certain generation or a certain age group. Like, it was made in 2019, you would think that maybe it's not going to age well, maybe this isn't going to play as well in 2039. But I can relate to it, and I haven't been in high school in almost 20 years. That means that anybody who sees it now, anybody, that means that this should be enjoyable by all ages. Absolute all ages. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and as far as coming of age, last day of high school movies go, this is better than Can't Hardly Wait. Better than Can't Hardly Wait. Yes, I just fucking said that. This is better than Can't Hardly Wait. See this now! It's playing everywhere, and it's not getting a lot of revenue. Nobody's seeing it, which is a shame, because this is a gem of a movie. You need to see Booksmart. Go check it out. And I might just go check it out just because it's got somebody named Molly in it. Yes, just me. Okay. Let's get back to the Real Rush ticket. I lost myself again. We're gonna come back, way back into time. Next up on the Real Rush ticket, we have a highly acclaimed film from director Joanna Hogg called The Souvenir. Now we're gonna get things a little serious here for a second, as this film follows film student Julie, who enters into a relationship with an older age man by the name of Anthony. Now, he's got some misdeeds and shit that lurk beneath his charming layer that totally threaten to not only destroy their relationship, but even furthermore, destroy Julie's dreams and ambitions and just overall well-being totally, along with the relationship. The Souvenir is a haunting tale of love and the sacrifices involved when one's life begins to suffer as they put all their energy into the potentially wrong soulmate instead of their own lifelong passions and dreams and ambitions and things of that sort. So this kind of hit a little home for me, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. Now, this stars Honor Swinton Byrne, who is the daughter of Tilda Swinton, as this also stars Tilda Swinton, and it stars Tom Burke. Now, this is a mostly conversational narrative that this movie sets. So, because of that, it's seemingly slow moving. But, speaking from experience, that's just how these kind of damaging relationships set in. Like, everything seems all nice at first, and by the time, before you know it, your life's fucked. The relationship may or may not be over, depending on whether or not you chose to stay with this person who's totally not good for you. And it seemed like it happened over, a minute. But no, that's something that sets in motion over time. The mask doesn't come off right away. You don't see all things that lurk beneath the surface right away. That happens over time. And like I said, it's very haunting. See it. See The Souvenir. See The Souvenir. It's accoladed all over the place. But be warned, it does have some potential trigger warnings for anybody who has been involved in a devastating relationship, because this includes things such as gaslighting and projection, etc., etc. I'm less a bad relationship as of 4 years as of this weekend. So maybe that's why this movie hit a little bit home. But yeah. Check it out. The Souvenir, y'all. Okay. Let's go back to Molly. Let's do that. But yeah, seriously. Go see The Souvenir. Just be forewarned that it's got some stuff in it that'll that could bring you back to some bad times, bad memories. Or just might make you aware of, what to look for, red flags in relationships and stuff like that. So, yeah. Last up on this episode's Real Rush Tickets, we have a French comedy film called Non-Fiction. This is from Olivier Assayas. This stars Guillaume Canet and Juliette Binoche. And this follows the interwoven lives of people in the literary and the entertainment business, involved in various relationship affairs while wanting the truth of their works to be seen / published. Now this goes along with the storyline because it touches on the quote-unquote realness of today's age, digital age, while being unable to maintain truthful relationships. So basically, everybody wants to be seen and heard in one way, but what's really going on in their lives is what they're not posting. That they want to be portrayed as like truthful to the masses, but they can't even be truthful in their own lives. And that's about as much as I can say as possible without giving too terribly much away. But Non-Fiction, it's witty, it's classy. The older audiences will most certainly enjoy this the most. This, along with The Souvenir, are both in limited release. The Souvenir is only at Angelica, as far as I can tell right now, as well as Non-Fiction. But Non-Fiction will also be at Cinema Arts this coming Friday. But yeah, definitely see it. Go get yourself a little touch of foreign cinema, if you don't already do that. And I just realized that this opens up a whole new level of movie buffdom. The fact that if I walked into this movie recognizing some of these actors and actresses from other foreign films that I've seen over the last couple years. So when you start to get to that level, that is a whole new level of movie buffdom. Ladies and gents. And that, my friends, is a wrap for episode 35. Or episode 34 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Excuse me, child. Anywho, so stay tuned for episode 35 next weekend, where I will have reviewed for you what we got coming next weekend. We got Godzilla, King of the Monsters, another highly anticipated blockbuster. We're going to have Ma. That is personally highly anticipated. I'm really looking forward to that one. We got The Tomorrow Man. We have The Spy Behind Home Plate. This is intriguing because this looks more of like a documentary on the story of Moberg, who we saw a biopic about Moberg starring Paul Rudd in season 2, which was The Catcher Was a Spy. We saw that up at Cinema Arts. Ironically, The Spy Behind Home Plate will be at Cinema Arts as well. And fingers crossed, all is true. Hopefully we'll have that for you next episode. Boom. So that's episode 35. And of course, Rocket Man opens this coming weekend as well. But we already saw that joint, so we already got it reviewed. So if you're looking for the review for that, that was episode 33. I will be reminding y'all again that if you need that review later on this week, check out episode 33. But in the meantime, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, any shit like that, go ahead and type those on into the YouTube page that you are viewing this video on right now. Or if you would like to send me a direct message or anything, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks to all who have subscribed thus far. And please, if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe so that way you can be the first to know when a new episode of The Real Rush has been posted. And in the same vein, everybody, please continue to spread the word of The Real Rush, like everybody should be spreading love these days, ladies and gents. And as always, you can follow your boy for my live movie check-ins as they occur on Instagram, and that is at JDubChampion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, I am your boy JDub, ladies and gents. Thank you for watching another episode of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Remember, when you're at the movies, chill out, okay? Don't be doing all the talking and looking at the smartphones and, even turn the smartwatches off for 2 hours. The time's still going to be there when you get out of the movie. Chill out. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun, y'all. Love JDub. And we'll see you next weekend! Peace out!